Get out the insurance card, get out the copay. The office is
So
open,
let's
my
get
friend.
to it.
Brought to you by Roto.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah. Another week of UFC fights. Fight Cup of Pain is open. How you doing today, Dan?
Oh, I'm tired, buddy. I'm tired, but I'm ready.
We're about as tired as some of these fighters that we have on this card.
Whew. Soup cans.
Soup cans.
Soup cans.
When I sent you that bowl of soup, I knew you was like, oh boy, here he goes. He's already got it.
Yep.
Hey, I was very unfamiliar with a lot of these fighters. Of course, the one fighter I was familiar with was Miesha Tate. So that was kind of like a nice little thing going on right there. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, one thing I did like about this card is that it has a lot of mixes, but it seems almost predictable in some ways. But I think because some of these fighters are evenly matched or the same type of fighter, that's what I think. Especially when we get to the co-main event, that's what my read of this card. What about you?
Yeah, it's a tough card to judge, man. It's either old versus older, or so someone that's making their second stint in the UFC. Mm-hmm. Coming against someone that's just returning to the UFC for their hometown. I mean, it's just, it's almost like it was just thrown together.
Exactly. And that goes back to me thinking, is this deal with Netflix, ESPN? Is that what's holding things up? Why don't we have anything for 317? Everybody's talking. Dana's sitting here. All we have is Duplessis and Chimaev. And I'm like, what are we getting? Well, we know we got 315. All right. We know we got some other fights throughout the year, but we need to start seeing a full card or something together. I get that everybody wants to be on standby now. Why does everybody want to be on standby? What has been your read about this? Do you think it has something to do with the negotiations with Netflix, or do you think that it's just a stall?
I think everybody's trying to wait for a big fight. I think everybody has their hand out right now, and we just don't have fighters that want to fight anymore. We have fighters that want that big fight.
Talking about you, Jones. All right.
Yeah, him especially.
Yeah. I mean, when you see that you got Ian Machado Gary on backup and for next week, and I think I seen the stat that if for some reason he was needed and fought, it would be his third fight in 150 days. I think it was.
Yep.
Could be wrong. Don't hold me to it, people. We're just trying to get it going.
Something like that.
But it's insane because you see the drive of the other people. You see the people that are comfortable. Of course, drive being Tom Aspinall. And then you have the comfortable people out there. You have Pereira losing his belt to Enk, and now they're having their little jaw match. You know they're going to get a rematch because, I mean, Alex, we talked about that Alex just kind of left it out there. But for me right now, we need these events. But what we have this week, it's special. It gives us a bunch of people that are maybe semi-unknown when you get to the Azmat Boykev, if that's how you say his name, Boykev.
Yeah,
match.
The undercards,
Yeah. There's not a lot of tape on him too, so that was really. I mean, he's facing Ryan Loder, but that was kind of a harder fight to pick. And there was, for me, even one of the ones we're going to talk about, Santiago Ponzinibbio, if I said that right.
Ponzinibbio.
What's it, Ponzinibbio?
Ponzinibbio. Just call him Ponzi.
Ponzi. We're going to call him
Ponzi.
But anyway, Daniel Rodriguez fight, that would have had me because, again, I feel that both these fighters, but we're going to cover that fight. That's going to be one of the fights that we'll cover, so we'll save all that for later and everything. Remember, everybody, get to Dr. Roto. Join today. Use code word DOC and get all of your fantasy needs right now. The draft happened. Dynasty drafts are happening right now as we speak somewhere, and have already happened before the draft. You need help. Chris just dropped his rankings at the site today for the Dynasty ranks. So you need to get over there and you need to win your league now. Because like they say, the early bird gets the worm. It is true when it comes to fantasy football. You will be so dialed in for all your redraft leagues or any new leagues by the time you get to August that you will be unstoppable. I swear you will be unstoppable because we make it our passion. We make it our project to make sure that you are our rich friend. Yeah. Woo! It's time to bring the pain, Dan. Ooh, yeah. Man. All right. First fight, Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos.
All right.
All right. What did you see in this fight?
Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. So we're not going to see any grappling in this fight at all. Zero grappling. And striking, Marcos likes to keep it simple, and he loves that leg kick, and he always moves to strike with that right hand. He always wants to throw that right hand. Jackson, on the other hand, he has a huge reach advantage. And he's the faster fighter. And dude, that straight left hand, that his last fight, that 30-second knockout.
Oh yeah.
That just straight left, straight down the pipe. His boxing's getting better too, man. This fight stays on the feet.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because even when I was looking at all the stats, like going on to the DFS side of things and looking at it overall, when I was looking at this fight, and again, this goes to a lot of other fights on this card, because when I was sitting there, I was like, wait a minute, this is practically the same, because if we go with Marcos, right, we see that he's on a 2, he's won his last 2, of course, both went decision. We had a no decision before that. He had a decision win, and he had a knockout. Of course, he's never lost. He's 17-0. So it makes everybody want to see, like, a lot of people will just gravitate to that 17-0. And on DraftKings or FanDuel, he's a great price point because this fight is most likely, and what I have it, going the distance. Because it's going to go the distance, either fighter, as long as they're active, especially striking fighters, give both fighters an opportunity. It's when you have either 2 wrestlers, like we'll have later in the card, or a striker and a wrestler, where it could go one-sided, where you don't really know where the striker is going to end up. Do you see the same things?
Yeah. I see this stand on the feet, and I see the one later on as a wrestling match, man. But
oh yeah, that one's definitely going to be a wrestling match.
But this fight right here, Marcos and Jackson, I don't see it being a decision. I don't.
Yeah. Tell me why.
Marcos has fought nobody. He's fought Jackson has fought the better competition.
That's true. Yep.
He's faster. He's more powerful, and he has the better all-around kickboxing game. And if this stays on the feet as we think it will, I think that left hand is going to find Marcos.
And you bring up a great point on that too, because like you were talking about Damone Blackshear, who we picked last week to win and won and got us what we needed, right?
Yep.
He knocked him out first round. I mean, we go back to the Yaya fight, knocked out, and it didn't take him like what. Of course, we're reach people here on the Fight Club of Pain. At least I am. I'm always about reach because I think that if you can establish the striking with the reach, you can establish your area of dominance, if you want to call it. So for me, it's the same thing as a point fighter. I know what angles I can attack from. Of course, using our legs more and everything like that, you could run by me and I could bend down and do a flying hook kick or something like that, and that can score. But in a real fight, you're not going to want to do something like that because then you're in a compromised position and you're going to get knocked. So in the way Jackson has taken out both his last 2 opponents was by sending it down the pipe, working his jab. We just talked about this just last fight, and that fighter won. And it was, you told me that there was no way dude was going to get finished, and he was finished because
I was wrong.
But it was that was the only thing you were wrong about, by the way, Mr. 5-0 Superman. Dude, great. You cooked it last week. And that's again, it comes back to that thing. So for me, I see that too. I see that going. And even though he didn't have a lot of strikes, he averages enough strikes. What Marcos and Jackson has a lot of control time. If you go back to, even the buys against buys, he had over 10 minutes of control time, 5 minutes of control time with Arce. So, and then I think it's John's. Yep, or no, right before it was Colares, another 10-minute match. So Jackson goes, if you can get yourself in and work me, it's good. I do like Marcos, but the one thing about it is he's like your silent assassin, dude. He's just out there. He doesn't really have any different kind of faces all the time. He has this method. He's like a method fighter. So he goes, what. So
he keeps it simple. He does the 1-2, the 1-2-1. I mean, he keeps it simple standing up, and he throws those leg kicks, and that's about it.
Yes,
That's the extent of his stand up.
Yeah, and for me, I think he's gotten by, like you said, on weaker competition. But now it's one of those things to where we have to up the game on him, and this is upping the game. This is a man fighting another man that has fought great competition, as we've just explained. Especially when you look at Blackshear again, going back to that fight, he's not a joke. And if Blackshear was fighting Marcos, I would have Blackshear too, and he would have the same. Right now, Jackson's around where Jackson is around 215. Marcos is of course the underdog at a plus 164. Yeah. So that being said, look, FanDuel, what are you doing? I'm trying to pull you up, and you're saying that I'm in Virginia. I'm not in Virginia. The only one that close to Virginia is Dan, and he's not logged in.
I'm not even close to Virginia.
Look at, they got me flagged in Virginia. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm closer to West Virginia than Virginia.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's up with FanDuel's tracking. And it's a boundary. It says unless PA, but nah. All right. So what we do at the Fight Cup of Pain is we go and we give you live bets that are on the books right now that help support our theory towards what me and Dan just talked. So everybody that's new to it and everything, that's what we're doing, right? So when we go to the knockouts, we have a 1 and a 2 by Jackson is a plus 500. It goes up to a 2 and a 3 plus 850. Now, of course, I'm going to go check the submissions. We're looking at 11 and 18. That's most likely not going to happen. So as of right now, I like both of those bets because, again, as you all know, and Dan, I like to just play the whole fight.
Yeah.
There's no reason with a plus 500, you throw 2 units down on that. You have plus 850, you throw 1 unit down on that. And as long as dude gets the knockout, we're good. Now, again, another thing that we love to do is go to how the fights will end. Now, the points right now are negative 180 on FanDuel. But they also have the fight go into distance at a negative 168. So if we say it's not going to go the distance and we're going to get Jackson as the winner, you will have a parlay of a plus 215 for that right there. So that tells you that's a solid pick. Don't go the distance. Jackson, cover yourself. Now, again, if you go back to the other cars, and Dan, if you ever got anything like any kind of bets that you were thinking about, not like making or whatever, but like if you had a question about a certain round, throw it in there because, right now, if we take the negative, say it goes a distance, and we take Jackson, it's a plus 124. So again, people, if you feel that this is going to go the distance, and right now me and Dan do not, you're going to put 1 unit on the plus 124 and 1 unit on the 215. You're going to end with the knockout as well too. And to cover yourself, the knockout bet alone for either fighter in this fight is a plus 200. So for me right now, if the method is knockout, those are the bets you're going to look at. And those bets right now can be positive all around. And then you just cover yourself with distance or no distance. Go with Jackson. Now, if you play the Marco side, those parlays become even better because right now he's still a plus 164. How you like it? So what do you got to rant? What do you got? You got a round? You got
I got Jackson second round knockout.
Ooh. Right now, people, that is a plus 1400. When you see the pen come up, there's a reason for that because that's a hell of a bet. So now that bet's in, we'll look at it. So Dan, you're taking Jackson, I assume.
Yes, Jackson
All right.
second round knockout.
All right, we're gonna put second KO for you. Me, I'm going. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm stepping in with the plus because I'm gonna be safe. I'm putting 6 bets down, so I'm already putting that in. And for me, I'm going the second and third round knockout. I like that bet right now, and it gives me that both the that. So I'm gonna suggest that as well too. So if you play both those, even if it goes the distance, you cover yourself. All 3 rounds, you can put 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and the second round knockout. If that knockout happens in the second round, you win your first and second, your second and third, and you win the second round knockout. I mean, you're looking at an 850, a 500, and a 1400 people. Let's get it. Man, I like that. So, the fight that I am still undecided about right now is the Santiago Ponzinibbio Daniel Rodriguez fight. We were going to talk about this. Dan, what did you see from the fighters?
All right. I've been a fan of Santiago Ponzinibbio for a long time, man. He was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler a long time ago, and it fell through, and I was excited about that because they would have just stood in the middle and fought. But Ponzinibbio, he has the experience, the speed, and the power all on his side in this fight.
He's a complete package. I agree with that.
But he has also come down with that glass jaw syndrome, and he likes to fall sometimes.
Yes.
He's a great counter wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Rodriguez likes to shoot sometimes. We both know this.
Yes.
Both these guys are, vets of the game, and they're both placeholders of this division, of the welterweight division. We have to admit that.
Yes.
They're both placeholders. They're, if you win, you're in the top 15.
That's right.
Against these guys. Rodriguez, he's a lot slower than Ponzinibbio, but he's more calculated. He doesn't take as many risks. He likes to dictate the pace. He does have good power, but he will try to mix in his takedowns to throw off Ponzinibbio's, boxing.
Yeah. And that's really it too. So I mean, that's the thing. That's what I've been torn on. Of course, as I saw in looking at the fight tape that I was looking at last night about Rodriguez, I saw that that kind of volume starts falling off, as we were talking about before we went live. That type of volume starts falling off a little bit before the third round, so then he starts wearing down, and that's where I think, and that's why I've been leaning, and it feels like it, that the safer pick is Santiago. I feel that, but I think that right now with Rodriguez being the dog, if you're the type of guy that likes a dog, you'll take the Rodriguez side.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Like, so you don't think Ponzi's shooting at all?
No. I think he's going to try to keep this stand in. He's more of a defensive wrestler. He uses wrestling. He uses his wrestling to get up, to stand back up. He doesn't really shoot. He doesn't really get a lot of takedowns. I think he wants to dictate the fight on the feet.
And I agree with that as well too. Another thing that both the guys, again, exactly alike. 73-inch for Ponzi, 74 for Rodriguez. There's really not anything different. What I do like about Rodriguez, and this is what I talk about, even though I know he slows down, which could lead, We're going to get to those numbers in a second. He lands 7.5 strikes, significant strikes per minute. He absorbs 5.47. So he's practically giving out as much as he's taking. That also goes with Ponzi too, except Ponzi has a slightly better defense at a 61%. But when we go to the grappling, you're going to look at the takedown defense far better on Ponzi's side than it is on the Rodriguez side. So if Rodriguez decided to shoot at all, it's most likely going to get stopped by Ponzi, which is like you said, that might throw Ponzi off. So do you see Rodriguez trying to put this on the mat at all?
I think he's going to try to make it dirty and clinch him against the cage. I don't think he's going to try to take him down. I think he's going to try to clinch him against the cage and wear him down a little bit.
And I agree with that. You know, like his control time, if he's near a minute control time at all, and this is Rodriguez we're talking about, then you're lucky, right? For a fight. So you're looking at only strikes, and that's what you're getting. And that actually, this fight right here, not only on DraftKings, it's the middle of the road fight because it's the fight that everybody's scared to bet. It's the fight that is the most, these guys are the most even, their age, everything is up there. And then you have it. But what I do like, of course, is that and I want to say this is against Selkov, right? Ponzi actually had over 2.5 minutes of control time against him. So he lost that fight too in a decision, 41 strikes. So if we get that from Ponzi, if we can get Rodriguez strikes, then either one of these fighters are a good play for your DFS lineup as long as there's no finish, and that kind of really helps out. How do you see the fight completely going? Is there a knockout? Is there a decision?
No, I think Ponzinibbio wins by decision.
I will back that 110% because that's exactly what I feel as well too. Oh boy, look at us. We got two like picks here. I know we're gonna get a little crazy here. Before we get to the co-main event, we'll go cover the two other fights that we want to cover because those are mostly the people that I've been used to and everything. So, all right, let's go into the numbers, people. Ooh yeah! As soon as it loads, I had to restart my phone because I thought I was in Virginia. Guys, I'm in Erie, PA, man. But all right. You know, you got to love technology. I'm about, 500 miles south. Yeah, I'm in Des Moines. But that's like 1,000 miles away or something. So they got me. They ain't trying to give me nothing, right? So as of right now, of course, we have Ponzi at a negative 128, and we got Rodriguez at a plus 100. Again, nobody wants this. Fight going to distance, a negative 174. Fight doesn't go to distance, a plus 136. That tells me that they're very, very unaware that they don't think it's going to go to distance. And before we went live and before my phone decided to do what it thinks it does, right, I looked at it. 1 and 2 for Ponzi is a 500. And, of course, 2 and 3 for Ponzi is at 850. That right there. And if you want to go to the Rodriguez side, 650 and 1,000. And the actual how the fight will end for knockout is a plus 180. So the sport books do believe that there could be a chance for a knockout. If you thought there was a chance for a knockout, who do you think it is?
I think Rodriguez because
I agree with you.
I think Ponzinibbio has the weaker jaw of the two.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I really do. I really like that. I mean, Dan, there's no reason to play a plus 650, a plus 100, and a plus 180 together. Again, I know that a lot of people go, well, that is 3 bets. But if that hits, you win it all. You win it all. If it goes in the first round, you win the knockout plus 180, and you win the first and second round knockout of the 200. So for me, I'm going to take those bets because my phone works now. I'm going to take those bets because this fight, everybody's going to be on the distance. And I want it to be the distance for my DFS teams. This is why I say, and when I was talking to you, when Dan actually went and joined up on DraftKings last night on the DFS side so he can actually see these salaries I was talking about.
Yeah.
And So what did you going through that real quick? What did you think about it? I mean, I know it was chicken scratch to you. You didn't.
Yeah, it was confusing. It was like trying to read Chinese to me. But you kind of walked me through it.
and and the thing about that is again, then these guys are the middle of the road, where the main event is not a middle of the road, and we'll get to that in a second too, because that's a. But these guys right here, when you do that, you play on the DFS side, and you take this fight. If it goes the distance, you take one of these fighters. You can take both of these fighters. This fight goes the distance. You got two easy fighters that nobody has, but I would not spend that money because you could definitely get a cheaper fighter. Like I think Smotherman's cheaper, and you could get him as a better chance. And being I think he's dog as well too. So then that kind of gives you that positive. But if it fails on DFS wise, then your bets cover. If your bets miss for the knockout, then your DFS lineup's fine. So you will win no matter what. You'll see. I got something for you. So, that being said, I'm gonna play that. Do you have a specific round, or you think that the combination is where you?
I don't think it's gonna happen. So I didn't really think about a round. So
what? That's all cool. You know what? I'm gonna get bold, right? Rodriguez wins round 1. Ponzi wins round 2. Rodriguez goes to shoot in round 3. He gets him down. He backs him up. He doesn't get him too much down. They get back to their feet. And that's when you see Rodriguez unleash that kick and then that punch. Round 3, and this is why I'm saying this, round 3 right now is a plus 2,300 finish. You could throw a half of a unit on that right now, and if this happens in the round 3, you win the knockout, you win 2 and 3, and you win that. Now let's get these people some money, right? All right, so let's go parlay. Let's get up to the parlays, and we're gonna do Ponzi at a negative 128, and we're gonna go the distance negative 174. That's most likely. That's gonna be a plus 171. Bam. I'm playing that right there because that's our bet. That's who we're suggesting. And if it goes a distance, we're good. DFS wise, we're good. And if some freak ass shit happens in the second or third round, we got you covered with the knockouts. All along, we want this fight. We want a knockout. Last week, we got our knockout. This week, we're going to get another. That was Randy Brown, man. Yeah. It's all about that size. We do 6'6".
Yeah.
Wow. Big stuff. All right. Let's kick it back. We're going to go over to Yana Santos versus Miesha Tate. Tell me what you're thinking.
Oh man, Miesha Tate. She's 2-2 since she came back, man. I think she'll try to use her dominant wrestling. She's fought better opponents, and
of course,
she'll try to engage clinches. She doesn't want to stand with Yana. I mean, she always does a great job making her opponents fight her fight.
Yes.
She has average stand-up at best.
That's why she got knocked out by Holmes.
Yeah. I mean, she's very tough, though. Very tough. And she has a high fight IQ.
Yes.
Yana Santos, I mean, she's 5-5 since 2018. Yep. So they're kind of throwing Miesha Tate a soup can.
Is it Diddy Moore?
Yeah, they're just kind of handed to her. I mean, she has really good takedown defense, though. And I mean, she should rely on her boxing and her leg kicks to fight Miesha Tate. But
she's gonna have to.
I think it goes to the ground, and I think Tate just controls her the whole fight.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Actually, I was a Miesha Tate fan back then, and not so much like a fan. It was kind of like I still remember the front of that ESPN when her and Ronda Rousey were naked, and but they were covered. Everything was covered.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? I was like, oh, we're just gonna have a fight, right? And then Ronda goes and taps her ass super duper fast. So for me, I felt bad for Misha because at that time, was she the champ before that? Was she the
She
champ at that
was.
time?
She was.
Okay,
She was
yeah.
two-time champ.
Mm-hmm. And then she gets kind of stomped out, and then of course we know
Yeah.
what happened with Holm. And what's funny is I watched the Santos Holm fight, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Santos fought Holm, and
They both did. Yeah. They both fought Holly Holm.
yeah, and for me, when I was looking at that fight right there, when I was going into that being the main fight, I looked at her kind of getting out wrestled, like
Yeah.
getting taken down. So it even Chelsea Chandler, she beat Chelsea Chandler, but it took her 3 rounds. We saw what happened last week to Chelsea Chandler. If you know how to beat Chelsea Chandler, you'll beat the daylights out of her, right? But
Yeah.
she couldn't beat her. And then she loses to Rosa. Of course, Holm, she threw 21 strikes. She controlled 1 minute and 19 seconds. And that's what Tate's going to do to her.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what Tate's going to do to her. For me, I'm with Misha Tate all the way. That's my pick. And you, what are you
Yeah.
thinking?
I'm going Misha Tate by decision.
Decision. And
Yep.
here, this is how you back this up, people. Submission, the double chance on FanDuel, submission and points is a negative 120. There's no shame in playing that. No shame in playing that. For me, and then if you want to fly up, of course, we're gonna go a little, contrary on this. So we'll do the Misha Tate money line, and then we'll go with the fight go in the distance. Yes. Now that's a negative two. That's a negative 290. All right. So total rounds, if you go total rounds over 2.5, is a negative 360. So let's just have it go the rounds or go the distance so that we get the money for that. And then we get a plus 146 on the Misha Tate side. Now, I do want to say this. I don't think Yana Santos is going to do this at all. And if there's a pathway for victory for Santos, it's going to be knockout. The funny thing is FanDuel doesn't think it's going to happen either with a plus 1700 on the 1 and 2 and a plus on the 2 and 3. It's a plus 2200 and the knockout prop alone. Here's the thing. The knockout prop alone in this fight, I don't care. I'm going to put money on it because the knockout prop alone is a plus 600 for
It's
either
because it's not.
fighter.
It's because it's
It's a
not going to
plus.
happen.
I'm still going to throw a half a unit on it because a plus 600, $10 wins you $30. So for me, I'm going to throw that money down and win that and have that on the side. I'm not going to throw $10 on it. So whatever your unit is, people, $1, $5, $10, $100, Mr. Donnie Warbucks at $1,000 a unit, whatever, you know, that right there tells me that this isn't going to happen, like you said. But if for some chance, if you think a knockout is going to happen in this fight, because maybe somebody else feels differently for us, maybe they're a Santos lover, which I wouldn't, I mean, they're out there, right? And
Yeah.
you get that plus 600. You cover yourself, you roll with the submission and points on Tate's side. And then if you want to get a little froggy, you can go Santos knockout and points at a plus 120, which that's actually not a bad, because if they think that tells me right there, if there was a chance that they'll do that, because off of the other numbers that I just said for Santos, that's actually the best number for a knockout for other than just playing the knockout period, which I would just be safe playing with that so you get both fighters. So that's that fight. And I know we both got Tate.
Yep.
And that's what, man, I'm just happy she's back doing this little thing. Is this her last fight? We don't know. But
We don't know.
if she wins, maybe so. I I I don't know. I mean, I know right now Santos is for some reason ranked 10th. I don't know why. And then of course Tate is 11. She can move up
Yeah.
on this. Maybe she's trying for maybe one more win, and then if she can get a shot at the champ.
Yeah.
So I don't think that. Why would you be doing that right now? Take a couple fights, get some money, and retire again.
Yeah. She doesn't need the money.
I know. Like she's got so many deals. Like her whole workup right now to like the whole fight. How much publicity she's getting. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows her. It's just, but it's great to see her out there when you don't see Holm, but Holm's around, and of course Rousey. She's been out since the WWE. burned her, or she burned the WWE, whatever way it may be.
Oh, Ronda Rousey was overrated, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice draw for us wrestling fans to get some of the UFC people to come into our world and
Yeah.
give us a shot, give us some views, and and be reminded that Brock Lesnar is a beast both in the WWE and the Octagon, even though
Yes.
that's kind of not his thing anymore. So we got it. I got all the bets in right now for this fight. Woo-wee. And then let's get that Misha Tate parlay at that plus 146. All right. Man, I know we got it's time to get old school. It's time to go to throw it back. Let's become heathens because we got Jeremy the Heathen Stevens versus Mason Jones. Two guys that were cut, both coming back. Jones, massive favorite to knock this boy out. But this boy has been knocking people out in the BKFC. That's where I give a shout out to the champion, Jessica Borga. Great job. I'll just throw that out there. She went in there and stomped out Hannah Rankin. And actually, she didn't have to stomp on her. She just threw a punch right down her pipe and knocked her silly. Got her all up like, right? So don't get mad if you're a Rankin fan. Sorry, sorry, Connor. We'll just keep it at that. But that being said, he's 3 straight wins, and he's coming in here and he wants to throw hands. What do you got? When you see this fight, Dan?
Oh man, Mason Jones. I'm a big fan of Mason Jones, man. He looked great in Cage Warriors after he left the UFC. He looked great. Yes. He's trying to make a name during this second stint, man. But Cage Warriors, even though he looked great there, it's still a lesser promotion.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's still a lesser promotion. Everybody's getting excited about this kid, but I mean, look what happened his first time around.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a bad record of 15-2.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, he's tough as hell. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. He has an iron jaw. You could punch this kid for days. Mm-hmm. Very well rounded, and he has power in both his hands.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Stevens, man, he's 38 years old. He still has that drive and that aggressive tendency that he's always had. Yep. His skills have diminished. They did a little bit. His skills have diminished. His chin is kind of iffy because of bare knuckle boxing. His cardio and his gas tank. I mean,
he's been fighting lesser competition. Who's going to try to come at him? I mean, he's giving up 3 inches. He's giving up 2 inches of height. He's giving up 3 inches on reach. He's giving up 3.5 inches on his legs.
Man,
so it's
if it lasts more than one round, Jones wins. Jones wins if it lasts more than one round.
Okay. So right now,
I'm not
out to plus 144 or 145. Go on.
I'm not going to give my prediction with anything I wrote down or anything. I'm going to say it with my heart. Jeremy Stevens wins by first round knockout.
Woo! And you know what's crazy about that is that there's so much money on that. And when I saw you messing around with DK, he is the cheapest fighter as is Jones is the most expensive fighter. Mm-hmm. Now, I feel that Jones is going to end up shooting, and I feel that he's going to end up taking him down, and he's going to be wearing him out. And I think when Stevens gets down on the ground, that he hasn't been in that situation for a long time, and that's what's going to end up, and he's going to get either submitted or ground and pound. I'm going to go, of course, with the ground and pound right now. And when we check the numbers on Jones, first and second, plus 260, second and third, plus 500, that's knockout. His submission is a plus 480 and a plus 900. Stevens is a 3,200 and 5,500. We know that's not happening. But a first and second round knockout by Stevens is a plus 1,100. And a second and third is a plus 2,100. Now, knockout clearly is a plus 145 as I popped in and threw that in there, right? So plus 145 for either fighter, again, gives you that positive money. And then you're going first round knockout because that's just going to be insane.
That's what I want to happen. That's what I want to happen.
Hey, and I'm fine with it. Plus 1,700, Dan.
What I think is going to happen is Mason Jones is going to knock him out in the second or third round. But
yep, I agree with that. And those numbers that we just gave out, those will be the numbers that I'm playing. I'm going to play that Mason Jones because for me, again, we're coming back on it, but I'm also going to play your knockout too, and I'm going to play total knockout because if I play. So for everybody out there, if you're a bettor or you're new to betting or you're following us and you're seeing how this goes or you're trying to understand fight theory, here's the fight theory. If these guys are going to literally slug it out, Stevens isn't coming in here to walk away, right? Stevens isn't coming in here to do that. He's going to stand in the middle of the ring and he wants to throw with Jones. And he wants to see that if Jones is going to take him out, that he's got to meet that intensity. Now, will the fight go the distance? Right now, yes is a plus 124. A no is a negative 156. So no matter what, even if you play the 156 and you play that on the Jones side, parlays a negative 115, great money. And if you play the Stevens side, no, and Stevens gets that knockout, it actually just went up to a plus 579. So together you're getting all sorts of great bets. You're getting all sorts of great ways to win this fight, but you're also covering yourself because that's what I want to do. That's what we want to do as well, is to make sure that you are in the best situation possible to win money, whether you win, lose, or draw. You'll have it. Well, draw is always a 5,000, but let's not have any of that crap going on here.
Nah.
We need that. No, I don't think anybody's Jones is going to last that long.
Next fight might be a draw.
Ooh, if they roll around, that's going to be it. So I'm going to go Mason Jones, second, third round knockout, plus 500. And that's what I'm going. It's our first fight that we're on different sides, but that's okay because we need that. We need to show that there is a pathway to Stevens. And again, DK, 6,800. You could fit everybody in. You could just play Stevens. Just play Stevens and then go right up and get all the top people, because then by the time you get down to the middle, you get your pick'ems and then you're good. So, all right, let's get to the co-main event. We got Ranier Derrida. If I said that right.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty easy. That's an easy
it's
one.
RDR.
RDR is, everybody's calling him RDR. Versus Bo Nickal. Tell me what you got, Dan.
All right. So neither fighter has a real striking advantage because neither fighter knows how to strike. Both fighters love to hug and hump their opponents to submission.
Yes, they do. We're having some bear hugging. People want to talk about if you want a man or a bear. We want men because two men are about to be hugging in the middle of a ring, people.
So we got wrestler versus wrestler, which means this is going to be a stand-up fight.
Yes, it is.
And
why
RDR being more experienced, standing up, and Bo Nickal has been hand-fed sandbags his career.
Yep.
Yes. And he struggled with two of the sandbags.
Well, Brundage, he's not that bad.
He's not that bad, but he's not.
But
he's
he
not.
got submitted in the second round.
Yeah, he's not RDR.
No.
But
not by far.
This is a pick'em for me. But I will go out on a limb and say RDR is going to win by third round submission.
Third round submission. That BJJ kind of got you going happiness, right?
Yeah.
And I can see a submission. If something goes wrong in any of this fight, I can definitely see a submission being the way it's going to end. Is somebody just takes that wrong turn or falls over and you just fall into the wrong kind of angle, and then you're going to get locked up. What I like, and both of these fighters, let's get this right. They look almost exactly the same. They fight almost exactly the same. What I like about, and so this is what I saw watching Nickel a lot. He always does that little right hand kind of shoot kind of thing to always juke his people out.
Yeah, a little jump.
Yes,
Yeah,
he does
a little
that
jump.
little jump. But a couple fights, right? He actually dove in a little bit, but didn't go fully. And this is what worries me about that, right? So we saw RDR able to knock out somebody from the side with a knee, with a jumping knee. So if at that point RDR decides to throw a jumping knee and Nicole is right there, he's going to get whacked and he's going to go falling backwards or be in a compromised situation, and that's going to easily help RDR maybe get that submission you're talking about. Because again, FanDuel doesn't think the fight's going the distance. They got a negative 168. That's actually pretty strong. And so that being said right there, they think that there's going to be a finish. And we have RDR at a plus 1100 and a plus 1500 for 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and we got the 700 and 1000 for the 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 for Nickel, right? And then when you go up to, of course, the method points is a plus 125, but submission is a plus 290. So if you get that submission, right, and you fly down to, let's say, so this is where I'm gonna get crazy. I think it's worth one play. I think first round, and that's the thing that gets me with Nickel too. He's so aggressive, so fast, so monstrous, just grabs and just locks onto somebody. It doesn't let you go. If he does that to RDR, I can see it. But if we could go to a second or third round, playing off of what you said, submission-wise, the knockout is a plus 2,600 for RDR in the second and third round. If Nickel, who has amazing stamina, just does this, and that knee comes flying up, that could be the ground and pound that we're looking for, or that could be the submission that we're looking for, which rate the second and third, of course, is a plus 1,500. And then when you come down to both the double chances, knockout and submission for RDR is a plus 500. That's an easy play. But Nickel is a negative 105. So clearly there's so much money on the RDR side. Take a few shots. Play a half unit. Play a full unit. And then cover yourself with your regular units. Double them up. Play 2-3 units on Bo. Going, you got your negative 350 right now at the time, which RDR is a plus 255. And then if you go with the distance being no, then you have yourself the parlay of, when it loads, plus 397. So take your plus 397 and then wrap it in with a Bo Nickel second or third round submission at plus 1,000. You're going to win some money. Man, that's going to be a hell of a fight. These guys both. What do you think, man?
I think it's going to be a bore fest. I'm not going to lie.
So? You think they're just going to hold each other there?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a snooze fest.
You're so. I want you to be wrong, because I don't. And these guys, if they do that stupid shit where they start trying to throw at each other, and I know Nickel has a knockout. He has a weird knockout. We all see a guy going, ooh, right? He got knocked.
I'm going to call it. They're going to stand there and they're going to bang, because neither of them are going to want to try to take down.
And that's I can see that happening too. So, because that's the irony of the UFC sometimes. Most likely, unlikely scenario, is going to be what happens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then that to me, that means it goes the distance. And I don't want the distance. I want money. We need some money. We're getting ready for football season. Let's get it, right? So, of course, I got nickel. You got RDR. We love it both. We got some bets. We got the main event. Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. We got number 4 versus number 5. They were getting no respect to Figs. No respect. A negative 520 to a plus 350. And at the same time, on DraftKings, I already know that Sand is number 2 at 9,400. And this fight, man, it's gonna get crazy. And when we fly down to Figs, at last was 6,800. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Dan? Talk to
us. Figueiredo, man, I don't know why he's not getting any respect. I mean, he's 13-4-1 in the UFC. He beat Cody Garbrandt. He beat Rob Font. He beat Chito Vera. I mean, the only person he really lost to in this weight class was Piotr Jan, and everyone loses to him.
Yeah,
everyone in that weight class loses to him.
Yep.
I mean, he's well-rounded. He's dangerous, especially on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But in this fight against Sandhagen, with the reach disadvantage he has to try to be first in the exchanges. He has to. And he has to look to press the fight against the cage and try to get Cory Sandhagen out of his rhythm.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And he's got the size. The size is an issue here. I mean, it's only a couple inches when it comes down to the hands. But, I mean, 5'11", 255. And, you know, I want to give a little – now, we know that Figs can do a 5-round fight. But, right now –
Look at all those fights. Look at all those fights with Brandon Moreno that he had, man. They had classics.
And they both took one.
Yeah.
So, but what's impressive is Sandhagen's streak of 5-round fights. I mean, we're looking at 6 5-round fights, and it's like he's going the distance practically all the way except the Yadong fight, which that was one of the fights I watched, and Yadong looked good.
Yeah.
Yadong was taking it to his ass. It made me actually respect Yadong a lot more than when we wrote him up a few pay-per-views ago. So,
Cory Sandhagen, man, that last fight to Umar Nurmagomedov, man, it was a really close fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really close fight. I mean, I don't see any holes in Sandhagen's game at all.
No.
I mean, he'll stand there and bang with you. He could finish a fight, both standing and submissions.
Yeah.
He has a massive size advantage in this fight.
Yeah.
And, dude, he has crisp boxing, and he has just the right amount of power also.
Yeah,
just the right amount of power.
He reminds me, and I'm not going to say he reminds me, I did say that though, Ian Machado Gary.
A little bit. A little bit.
I mean, I would take Gary over him, of course. But at the same time, to me, go on.
I was going to say he's going to want to utilize those leg kicks that he always has, and that front kick that he always uses, just to gauge his distance, just to feel out the smaller man.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from Figueiredo. Like, you know, he has to shoot. He's going to have to shoot. He will have a chance to shoot as well too.
Yeah.
So, for me, he can't keep this standing up. He has to be able. But the one thing I liked about Sandhagen is that, like Gary, they always keep moving to the left or the right. They're always circling. They don't want you to get him against that cage. And if you get near that cage, he's going to do the best to get away from that cage.
Yeah, and they always circle towards your power side, so you have a hard time throwing your power hand.
Yes, and that's actually go on.
They're very smart fighters, both of them.
That's so bringing up point fighting because got a tournament this weekend and things like that. when I was being taught a few years ago by one of the black belts who's, worldwide champion, stuff like that, he goes, go towards the power. And I was like, why would I want to walk into that though? He goes, because all you have to do is once you go into it, it's going to pass you by because they aim for
Yep.
where you were at.
Yep.
And you have everything right there. You have the rib, you have the head, you have everything's wide open. And all they have is going to be a backhand coming back. But at that point, it's not going to look anything like you have because you have both your legs and you have both your hands. So, like you said, when you circle towards that power side, a lot of people are going, they're going to walk right into it. They're going to walk right into it. No, because the power, if you're a fighter, no, the power has to come straight down the line. Or even if you throw a hook, you might get lucky and catch the hook. But if he's got his hand up the whole time, the kind of way Prates had his hand up against, Gary, because he knew he was going to throw that head kick the whole match. And he did. He did.
Yep.
If you got it, you'll never land a hook. And if you throw it straight, it will be offline, weak, and put your right side of your jaw in a compromised position for a left hook.
Yep.
So
Yep.
This is going to be an extremely hard fight for Figueiredo. Who do you have?
I think it's going to be a hard fight for both fighters, man. Neither of them are a slouch.
No, by you're number 4 and number 5.
Yeah, in one of the toughest divisions in the UFC.
Yeah.
But my prediction is Sandhagen slugs out a decision win.
Yep, I like that. Right there, we're going to take yes, and we're going to do the Sandhagen -520, -210, and that gives you right there. We'll go right to the parlay. The parlay gives you -154. So people, if you look at that, a lot of people are going, well, I see that -520. I don't want to play this fight. I don't want to. But you can play this fight. You play this fight. You play to go to the distance, and you pick your money line guy. -154 isn't bad at all. Throw a couple of units on that and have some fun with it. Because I really don't see the power coming out of Sandhagen to finish Figueiredo. And I don't think Figueiredo is going to go down like that. And at the same time, because he's strong, the way you just said it, he's strong, he's hard to finish, things like that. And when we look at the submissions, they're all over the place. You're starting at a 1,500, going down to an 1,800 in the middle. By 3, 4, and 5, you're back up to a 17,800. And that's for Cory, right? Because he's not going to try to finish. And for Figs, it's even worse. So they're literally giving the wrestler the worst of the grappling. To me right there is telling you that they're giving Figs no respect at all.
Yeah.
When a fighter feels disrespected, Dan,
he's dangerous. Yeah, he's dangerous.
So when you do the double points, if I think that Sandhagen does have a method of victory, it would be knockout and points. Knockout and points right now is a -290 straight up for Sandhagen. If Figueiredo, outside of a knockout, which would be crazy because knockout and submission for him is +750, but I'm not going to go knockout and submission. I'm going to go submission and points for Figueiredo because that, for me, would be his method. So instead of going up, go on.
He's dangerous on the ground, Figueiredo. Yeah. He's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. So a +500 is worth a shot.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot. If it misses, great. Throw a half unit down. All right? You throw $10 down, you win 50. Right? If you want to throw $5 down, you're gonna win 25. If that loses, right? That loses, and you got your 2 units on your Sandhagen and to the distance, then you're gonna at least rep some of that back. So this is where fight theory does come into play, because now you can see what we do on the Fight Club of Pain. When me and Dan are talking, when we just went over all of the previous 5 fights, we were able to find a method of victory that was positive no matter the outcome for each fight. But this fight, that's how hard this fight is to judge right now. And for me, if you want to get froggy and you say somehow, let's say they come out, feel each other up. Well, yeah, they're not going to do that. Like,
That's going to happen in the Bo Nickel fight. That's going to happen in the Bo Nickel.
They're going to test each other in round one. We're going to give Sandhagen round one because there's going to be a lot of action. Sandhagen takes round one. Round two, Figs is going to know he's going to have to shoot and try to get in. He's going to get tapped a little bit, but he's going to get close in the fourth minute of that second round. He's actually going to get him on the cage. He's going to get a small takedown. That will be fine. Round will end, and we're going to say because of that, we're going to give round two to Figs. Now we go into round three. Now we know Sandhagen's going to straight keep him at distance. He gets him around. Sandhagen wins round three. We're up 2-1 now. Sandhagen is going to keep the pressure on. He wins round four. And then that is where Figs is going to get desperate. And he's going to have to go for that fifth round submission. And that's going to be the funny thing because a fifth round submission for Figueiredo is plus 9,000. If for some reason Sandhagen, which I don't see happening, gets a little tired, just a tad, and throws a lazily, because I will say this too, I didn't like the way he kept his hands out against Yudong. Yudong kept his, and I know this is quite a few fights ago, okay? Yudong kept it like this, and I say this for a reason, because as he had his hands out there, he would eventually go, right? That's not a powerful move.
He's just feeling distance.
Yes, and I get that. But when you leave your hand out there against a wrestler, and a wrestler grabs your hand, now you're locked up. I'm taking that plus 9,000. I'm going to say Sandhagen wins by decision. Dan, what do you got?
I got Sandhagen by decision.
Bam. But if you want to get froggy, people, take that submission plus 9,000 in the fifth round. And if you feel for some reason that you are on the Figueiredo side, then with the Figueiredo side, and that's your bold pick. That's your bold pick right there. I'm giving that right out there, the fifth round submission. If you feel that you want that 3-4-5 just to cover before you get into that, then, because that's all this fight is. To me, that's what this fight is. It's just going to be playing the numbers. And right now, the points is going to be in the negatives. We're not going to make that much money unless something crazy happens. So don't go heavy with this fight. Be smart. Play what you can. Take your chances. And I'm not saying that Sandhagen can't get a knockout. All right? And Sandhagen, a rounds 3-4-5 knockout would be 1,000. That's cool with me. And then, of course, when you go over to Figueiredo's 3-4-5 submission is a plus 3,000. So, again, half a unit on the 9. Do a full unit on if you want to get froggy, or half. Just split your units on 3-4-5 Figs. Now you have round 3-4-5 submission covered. Because, like I said, he's gonna get desperate in 3, and he might lose that round, but he's gonna have to take 3 or 4 if he expects to win this fight and expects to win round 5. He's gonna have to do that. So 3-4-5, and then bam, you get that 9,000. You follow it back with the Sandhagen knockout of the 3-4-5 1,000, and then you just run your double. Or if you at this point you say because we played those extra units, you want to throw 3 units on Sandhagen distance and him winning, then you got your positive, or you got your parlay. So everything's covered. Everything's as good as it can be for this fight, man. Damn, what a hell of a card we have here.
Yeah, I mean, this card is very even. It's very evenly matched.
All right. So we've been given bold picks this entire podcast. What do you got? Do you have any tricks up your sleeve? I mean, you practically said your Jeremy Stevens knockout round 1.
Yeah, that's my trick up my sleeve for this week.
Yeah. All right. So, and I've just given you mine, and I'll go over too. So we'll fly back to a fight we did not color. Jillian Robertson, she is going to get, if you play her, she's going to get a submission in this. You want to take that bet. first and second round submission plus 380 on top of the submission. Play that. And the second and third round submissions to plus 600. I'm not thinking, I'm playing the second and third round submission at plus 600. That gives you a great opportunity to make some extra money to cover the Sandhagen and Figueiredo match, because man, this is gonna be crazy, to make money off of. We're just gonna play it. Like I said, we're gonna play it sync. So that's gonna be that pick. Now you get my DFS lineup of the day. So we're going, and this is kind of a killer lineup because I'm putting him in there again. 5 rounds. If Sandhagen goes 5 rounds and strikes as much as he does, unless there's a captain spot, Sandhagen's going to score the most points on this card. And that, for me right there, Sandhagen, we're going to go Misha Tate, we're going Smotherman, we're going Bolanos, we're going Marcos, and we're going Ponzi. That's what I got. And
I like it.
I'm taking a chance with the Ponzi fight, but regardless, we go distance like we said earlier. We're good. Marcos against Jackson. I know that Jackson's going to eat him up, right? We already said that. But that's where I said if this fight goes decision, say we don't get the knockout, goes decision, Marcos keeps his volume up. Say we get 60 significant strikes, 50 significant strikes. We get about 46, 47 points in a losing effort, maybe 60, 70 points in a winning effort from Marcos. I'm going to tell you this right now. Daniel Marcos will be under 20% owned. And that's a fact, I will say. Dan, do you have a lineup?
I do. I'm not gonna.
6? What do we got going on here?
Yeah. Let me look it up here. Let me look it up.
As he goes to his DraftKings, I will go to my FanDuel, and I will
Let's
give you.
see.
You got it.
Yeah. So
Go for it.
I got Sandhagen,
Mm-hmm.
RDR,
Mm-hmm.
Ponzinibbio,
Yeah.
Giannis Santos, Bikovov, Bikoviv, yeah,
I
and
see it again. Yeah.
and Jeremy Stevens.
Woo! Look at that. And I think you have about 1,400 left over.
Yeah.
All right, people. You gotta go to the Dr. Roto Subs Only Discord, because I will not give out the FanDuel lineup because it's fire. I already know it's fire. FanDuel, I got you this week. You better cancel that and better up that pricing, because I'm telling you right now, my lineup right now is fire. And I'm not gonna even say anything right now, but I'm gonna say this: the only, and this is why you have to get to the Subs Only Discord. Use code word DOC. The only dog on my FanDuel lineup, mind you, the captain, I'll give you the captain. Robertson. I'll give you one dog. Smotherman. Now, try to work the rest out, people. And if you can, come see us at Dr. Roto, because that's what we do, man. That's what we got it, man. Dan, another great episode. Thank you so much for coming on. You think
no problem, man.
You going 6-0 this week?
With that Jeremy Stevens pick, probably not, but I hope so.
Hey, when you go 5-0, you could show your balls next week. You can go balls out. You could say it with your chest. I mean, don't really do that.
Hey, but I picked RDR to submit Bo Nickel too, so.
You did. And you know what? When I first looked at this fight, my first pick was RDR. Honestly. Yeah. That was before I did any tape. That was before I did any of the points, just looking at the DraftKings lineup, looking at the betting lines, seeing where things were going, and just seeing the previous fights, the previous fighters that they had beat or lost to. And I looked at RDR and I was like, man, but the thing is then I went to Bo Nickel's X account, Twix, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I was already following him. I've been following him because he was a great wrestler for Penn State.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I've been following him all this time because that's we heard his name all the time in Pennsylvania. So for me, that's why, and that's what makes the Fight Club of Pain different from every other show. Everybody's got picks. Everybody does their stuff. We all do the same stuff. But one thing that nobody does, and and has done yet is go into depth, try to attack every fight from every angle, and be able to find you the right way to win, no matter which way you go or every way you go.
We try, man. We try.
We do, man. We're trying. Follow Dan on the X. Follow me on the X. I gotta get your full name. Dan made a profile. So when I'm fighting, kicking ass on Saturday, right? You got a question? Hit up Dan on X. You're gonna have to go follow me. I think it's at Dan. Did you spell it?
It's my last name. Yeah. Hold on. Let me look at it. Let me look it up. Hold on. Let me look. I don't know what it is yet, man. I don't know what it is yet.
I got it. I got it for you. Right. It's at Dan Ogrodnik. That's
412.
412. That's it. That's how you
get
him. You hit him up. Follow him, people. Let's get it on, because right now he's hitting it up. He's gonna be, he's resharing stuff, and he doesn't do social media, so he's new. So let's give him a good round of applause. Let's get him in there. Let's go tank his stuff. Woo! Let's give him a bunch of followers, and let's always remember to bring the pain, people. Ooh, yeah. Dan, I can't wait to kick ass, and I can't wait to see the Fight Club of Pain slay another week of UFC Fight Night. Yeah. Give me a love.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.